Hello and welcome to Bedroom Studio Corner. I'm XD. Welcome back to yet another video. I hope you guys are enjoying the festive season and you're all excited about the year ending. I hope this year was as good for you as it was as good for me, because this year, that's when I started this channel and I've gained so much people following this community that we have here, and it's been a total ball, and I hope we can continue to be such a great community. We share these ideas, we share all this great music, and we keep going with it. So today I'm back again with another great video, and this one is on mastering. So today I have a track that I made over here and I'm gonna master it using Ozone 8, and I'm gonna show you a trick that is mind-blowing when you have Ozone 8 and why it's such a great tool to use for mastering. It's used by a lot of professionals, including myself, and you know, it's a great way to get yourself going with mastering in case you don't really understand how mastering works. So this track I have here is a basic track that I'm going to release soon, and you're going to be the first to to hear this track because of the channel, and I'm sampling it right here. And if you're new here, please subscribe. We have a great community we're trying to build here, and before we get going, leave a like down below, support the channel so we can grow as a community. So okay, now to the track. This is like kind of the first half of the track, and I've got a second half over here, and I just kind of split it into two. Like if you see the emptiness, that's like this little empty bar over here, that's like a center of the track. Check our master. As you can see that our track is sounding really good, but now we need to master it. I've done some mixing and everything sounds fine. I can go further with the mixing, but I'm not going to do that now, but I'm just going to go straight to the master and show you how Ozone 8 is great. So let me load Ozone 8 on the master. Boom, there's that beast. Now, Ozone 8, for people that don't know Ozone 8, it's a very powerful tool. It is very big on CPU and RAM. It will like slow your whole machine down. So with Ozone is you can use it in FL Studio, or you can use it as a standalone outside of FL Studio, but you have to render your track, your mix out as a single WAV file or even an MP3 if you will, but I would rather you export in a WAV because it's better quality, and then you can import it into Ozone and then master it as a standalone out of FL Studio. But for this instance, I'm going to do this in FL Studio because it's basically the same thing, because if you're going to go and change something in the mix, you can do that instead of now having to mix the track and then find out that you want to change something, and then you have to go back to FL Studio and then go out and render it and then import it back into the thing, and it's too much work. So rather have it on your master in FL Studio. That will just be that will save you time in actual fact. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it. Now I've already set my meters to LUFS because that's the new metering system that is out now. I'll actually make a video on LUFS so you guys understand what it is, because nowadays it's no longer about hitting that 0 dB, but these companies like online distributors, they are now working with LUFS. That's a new requirement for loudness. So that's for another video. But what Ozone does is that it gives you modules. Like you see here, I've got an equalizer dynamics that's kind of like a multi-band compressor, and we have a maximizer as well. So here by the plus sign, you can just click and you can add any component that you want to use, any effect that you want to add. You have a spectral shaper, you have vintage tape for that nice tape saturation, you have compressors, imagers, limiters, and EQs, and exciters as well. Well, an exciter actually, because it's just one thing that you can add there. There's a lot of nice presets in Ozone that you can use to get your your sound right. If you in a quick fix and you want to quickly work on something, and then you get going. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to load default quick. And what I love about Ozone 8 is that it's got this master assistant. What master assistant does is that it analyzes your track as you play it and then gives you kind of a bass master that you can use to, you know, just to like a starting point where you can start your master and then get to a proper one. It's up to you how you want to finish it and tweak it. So I'm going to demonstrate this right now, and I'm going to show you how it works so you can easily master your track, you know, and make sure that you're good. You can still tweak it to get a more perfect track and still do more, but I'm going to show you how Ozone makes it so easy to master, especially if you're a beginner in mastering and you don't have the proper education to do manual mastering yourself. So I'm going to start playing the track over here by the selection that we've made. And then I'm going to go to Master Assistant. Now my target is streaming because we're mostly streaming on music. People are usually playing it. You can still use a reference, I'll get to that as well, and a CD, but for now I'm just going to use streaming. And then I'm going to go next. Now it's going to analyze the audio, you know, and set the equalizer, analyze the dynamic range, you know, and do all it's going to do and analyze the sound as it goes while it's playing on the fly. This is such an amazing thing. It actually blew my mind when I learned about this. Let's just let it finish. Now we accept. So now if you take a look, this is now the settings that we have that it suggested to this track. So now you see a lot of the bass, the lows are cut out, and a lot of boosting here in the mid-range, and some of the high end is being rolled off, and the dynamic EQ as well here. The dynamic EQ is very good because it only works on the signal it's getting. So it's not an EQ that's just cutting all the time, but it's cutting whenever you get that frequency coming through. Like if you play here, you can see it's actually cutting as the song is playing, instead of just holding the cut out. And there's also a maximizer here that's maximizing, and it can also learn the threshold, and you see the target is 14 LUFS, minus 14 LUFS. That's the target that most online distributors want, like Spotify and stuff. So even if you send your track to like Spotify and it's above 14 LUFS, they will still lower it back automatically to 14 LUFS. So it's always good to know about that. So if I can play it, you'll see it's limiting mostly the kit. So you can still lower your threshold to make it more louder if you want. So this is a great thing because now it actually just basically did the mastering for you. You don't even have to do so much after this. You can just tweak around if you want to, but that's up to you and your choice of sound. And that is a great feature. Now, the other feature that they have, like let's say, for instance, after you've done this, an important part of mixing is referencing. Referencing helps you know the direction you're going to take with your master and know that you're in the right path, because sometimes you get carried away and you know, some people love bass, some people love the high, some people love the mid. So now you will concentrate your ears on a certain element in your track, and then you forget that it's now gonna sound out of a point where it's kind of the same as other people's music. So you need to get a reference track that is similar to your song to reference and see that, okay, my track is in the right place it needs to be. In case you're going to be mixing your track with other songs, they must also kind of sound alike. So if you go here to the reference, you can click here, there's add reference. So if I click here, I can actually add a track to use as reference. Now I've got my own songs here. I can pick maybe The Surface and I'll load it here. Then it's going to load this track to use as reference. So I can switch between the reference track and the track that I'm mastering and listen to kind of get a guide of loudness and how the overall sound is, so I don't lose my way. I stay in the right path. So be careful when you referencing, because if you use a track that is not properly mastered, it's gonna throw your whole master off. So you must choose a track that is properly mastered, even if it's not your own song, but a song you trust and you love the sound, you know, and it's similar to the track that you'll be mastering to use as reference. So now if I play my track, I can switch to the reference as well. So this will help you switch back and forth so that you can now tweak accordingly to the reference that you're hearing to kind of align your track with the sound of that track. So that's where now your mastering starts to get more interesting, because you can get control, because now you have reference of how to master, where to go, if your bass is not too low or too high, if your treble is not too low or too high. So now you have somewhere where you can actually, you know, instead of instead of now having to do your master, go out, compare with other songs, and then come back and tweak again blindly. So Ozone makes all of this very easy. So I hope this is very helpful for you, and I hope you're going to consider trying Ozone. I am not paid by Ozone to do this video, but I just think that it's a good tool to have if you're new to mastering and you want something that will get you going quickly so that you can start learning and you know what you're doing. Ozone is very powerful, and I implore you to get Ozone if Waves is too much for you, because I know Waves has a lot of things, but Ozone is a very nice tool to have in your arsenal of plugins. So I hope this video was very helpful, and I hope it helps you guys to make your songs very powerful and very good. Again, if you're new to this channel, subscribe. We have a lot of great content here and a lot of great videos. You can go check them out. I have other mastering videos you can check out and a lot of other stuff on the channel as well. So leave a like if you like this video, and if you like Ozone and if you feel that it's a great tool to have in your arsenal, let me know what else you guys are using instead of Ozone in the comments that you think is very powerful also for mastering and makes it easy for you to get working. So that's it for me and this video. I am X and I'm out. I'll see you in another video. Peace.